You are welcome to Media 9 Network. My name is Terri Boampong, and I am your host to present to you matters of the heart. Yes, some people will be thinking that, oh, matters of the heart is all about love, relationship, and all that. Yes, it's true. But sometimes we intend to neglect the hurtful ones, the dark ones, and always focus on the love. But we should be mindful that when your heart is filled with darkness, when your heart is filled with a whole lot, you cannot actually love as you should. Being it in marriage, being it in relationship, being it in relationship with any other person, with your colleagues in at work, name it. But I should make this example. Imagine that you have a bottle and it's already filled with water. When you add water, will the water in the bottle change? It wouldn't. It will still remain the same. Or let me make this elaboration. Let's say there is wine, red wine, and you pour in another red wine. Will it change? It wouldn't change. So, if we want change, we should first pick out the old ones. We should first focus on bringing out, emptying our heart to fill it with love. That is when our relationship will be right. That is when our marriages will be right. That is when our work will be right. That is when whatever that we are doing will be right. So, this is about dealing with the things that cannot allow us actually love, dealing with the things that cannot allow us actually be who we should be. Yes, so this is all about matters of the heart. The deep things, the dark things. We are not actually going to talk about the lovey things. Yes, so you can call me Adepa for short and I'll answer you. So today we are actually going to talk about anxiety. Anxiety is a very normal thing that anyone can feel anxious. But we have a way that it becomes a problem to the heart and to the soul and to the mind. We all know that the soul is connected to the mind. And the end product of whatever that we think about ends in the heart. And when it gets into the heart, it becomes solid. That is when it rules the affairs of our life. So, we are going to talk about anxiety, but this is anxiety disorder. Yes, anxiety is not the problem, but when it becomes a disorder, that is the problem. So, we will talk about what is anxiety, and we will explain the anxiety, and we will talk about what is anxiety disorder, types of anxiety, and symptoms of anxiety. So, we will begin at what is anxiety. Anxiety is your brain's way of reacting to stress and alerting you of potential dangers ahead. Yes. So the normal anxiety is the way your brain reacts to stress and alerting you to potential dangers ahead. That is the normal way of being anxious. But let's look at anxiety disorder. It is the intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situation. This becomes very risky. It says that it is the intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situation. You know, there are people that when they come to work, they are anxious. Even they are about to enter into their car, they are anxious. Whatever that they do, they are scared, they are worried. Even if they are worried about what they will eat, what they will wear, there is so much pressure. And when it's very consistent in every situation of your life, it becomes an anxiety disorder. So, anxiety disorder, let's know the results of anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorder is the result of physical and emotional stress that we encounter from day to day as the result of financial problems, relationship problems, nutrient deficiencies. Yes, that is the results of anxiety disorder. When you have financial problems, when you have nutrient deficiencies, when you don't eat well, when you are malnutrited, when you have relationship problems, that can cause anxiety disorder, because it's an everyday thing. You'll be thinking about it, what to do, when you don't find access to it. Another thing says anxiety has no boundaries. In fact, anxiety can happen to a child, it can happen to a mother, it can happen to a father, it can happen to the rich, the poor, the famed, short, tall. Name it. It has tormented and touched many lives, particularly in Ghana and even nationwide. In fact, when you look at the Americans, the Western countries, it's really killing them a lot. But right now, we are going to look in our own country since it's our own. I made a study in Ghana, and about 30 million people as the population of Ghana. World Health Organization estimates that approximately 13% of the population is affected with these matters, which is about to be treated. This is my worry. They are now treating it, and about 30 million as a population in the country, 13% always face anxiety disorder. The treatment of anxiety disorder in Ghana was estimated at about 1.8 million. Treating that is 1.8 million. And you know, it's a very high cost. And also, 20% of adolescents worldwide are known to experience these issues. As I already stated, that anxiety disorder has no boundaries. It doesn't know anybody. Whether you are young, whether you are old, whether you are fat, short, it can happen to you. So we have types of anxiety disorder. We have the generalized anxiety disorder. You feel excessive, unrealistic worry and tension with little or no reasons. There are people that they feel excessively worried, unrealistic. They worry for nothing. They don't know. You can ask somebody with a few research, you ask somebody why he or she is worrying, he doesn't know. He or she can't give you the right answers for him to worry. But it comes on with the little things and with no little things. And another disorder, anxiety disorder, is panic disorder. You feel sudden, intense fear that brings on a panic attack. During a panic attack, you may break out sweat, have chest pain, and have a pounding heartbeat. Sometimes may even feel like you are choking, having a heart attack. So this panic disorder is when you feel intense fear that it can even lead to having heart attacks. Yes, this is very serious. And another one is the social anxiety disorder, also called social phobia. This is when you feel overwhelming worry and self-consciousness about everyday situations, social situations. When you worry about how you look, how people are going to talk about you, what to wear, what to eat. This social anxiety, especially a lot of people face it on social media. When they are attacked, when somebody posts something, when somebody does something, you feel, hey, this person is high. Meanwhile, it's just social media, and then they'll be worried about it, and it will be an everyday thing. This can have an effect on you. And we have agoraphobia. That is one of the anxiety disorders. And you have an intense fear of being in a place where it seems hard to escape or get help if an emergency occurs. For example, you may panic or feel anxious when on a plane, public transport, standing in line with a crowd. So agoraphobia is when you have a fear in a place that you feel there can be no escape. This place that you in, when something happens, I cannot escape. That's that kind of fear. But let me first notify you that anxiety goes with fear. Yes. So lastly, medication. Medication induced anxiety disorder. The use of certain drugs or illegal medication or withdrawal from certain drugs can trigger anxiety disorder. So the way we take in drugs, unprescribed drugs by physicians or doctors or medical personnel, and the withdrawal of drugs can also trigger anxiety disorder. So let's go to the symptoms of anxiety. When to know that you are anxious. We have three parts of our body system, of ourself, that would let you know that, hey, if this part is playing, then I'm having an anxiety disorder. One is physical, that is the body. It says a churning feeling in your stomach. When you feel like your stomach is burning, it's filled with, like, they've poured water on you. Hmm. Feeling lightheaded or dizzy, feeling restless or unable to sit still. When you have anxiety disorder, you sometimes feel restless, unable to sit still, headaches and backache. When you have anxiety disorder, when you think, worry, you end up having headaches, backaches. That's the symptoms. Fast breathing. You start to breathe fast. You start to have uncontrollable breath. And irregular heartbeat. We have a normal pulse that your heart should beat. So then, if you have anxiety disorder, the way your heart is supposed to beat in a pulse, it will go abnormally, or even more than it should be. Yes. Feeling tense, nervous, or unable to relax. When you have anxiety disorder, you are unable to relax. Having a sense of dread or fearing the worst. You always fear the worst. You always fear something that is unimaginable to happen, but you fear it. That's anxiety disorder. It actually have a toll in your brain and comes to your heart. So mind, I always combine mind and the heart. Somebody will say it's a mental illness, but the mind connects to the heart. And the mind can forget, but the heart can't. So if it gets to the heart, that is when it becomes very dangerous, because the heart will go back, there will be blood rushing from the heart to the brain again. So it will make you remember consistently. So the mind, the heart, feeling tense, these are the symptoms of anxiety disorder when it comes to the mind and the heart. Feeling tense, nervous, or unable to relax. You feel tense, you feel nervous, you feel you can't relax, you can't be yourself. You always panic, you always see that, "Eh, somebody's looking at me." That's anxiety disorder. But the mind and the heart. And having a sense of dread or fearing the worst, it's also happened in the physical body, as we already explained. Feeling like the world is speeding up or slowing down. Sometimes you feel like nothing is moving. Sometimes you feel like, "Eh, things are moving so fast and I'm lacking behind." Consistently. And I'm feeling like other people can see you are anxious and are looking at you. So when you have anxiety disorder, you feel like somebody's looking at you, and somebody can see you being anxious, and that will make you more anxious. Yes. That's one thing about it. Feeling like you can't stop worrying, or that bad things will happen if you stop worrying. This is one trick about anxiety disorder. You always feel that the moment you stop worrying, bad things will happen. And it's serious. It will make you feel like when you stop worrying, life has ended, and then you have no aim. But worrying, it's not a problem solver. Let's put this in mind. Wanting lots of assurance from other people, or worrying that people are angry or upset with you. So there are a lot of people. I used to deal with this thing, and thanks be to God, I've overcome it. It says wanting lots of assurance. You see, you'll be in a relationship that you always want someone to assure you that that person will be there for you. And people worrying that people are angry or upset with you. When you feel that, hey, this person is angry at me. Let's say you were passing by someone and you greeted the person and the person couldn't answer. It could be that the person was not actually focused on you. You might feel, hey, this person is upset with me. This person is angry. And meanwhile, that is not the case. So that's one of the ways. Low mood, worrying that you are losing touch with reality. This is very serious. You are worrying that you are not part of anybody, you are not part with the world, you are not part with humans, you are not part of anything going on in life. You have lost reality, touch in reality. Low mood, you always have mood swings. You always feel you are incapable. You can't do anything. You feel fatigue, tiredness in even doing something. Rumination, thinking a lot about bad experiences, thinking over a situation again and again. This is very serious. This is when something happens, let's say you make a mistake and you are always thinking about that mistake, always thinking about that bad situation over. It could be 20 years, all your life, still thinking. And this personalization, a type of dissociation where you feel disconnected from your body or mind. That is when somebody you can be seated, somebody can talk to you, and then you can't hear. You can be seated and then you'll be looking at somebody, but meanwhile you are not actually looking at the person. Your mind is out. You are off. That is one of the disorders. And worrying a lot about things that will happen in the future. Yes, that is one anxiety. It's good to think about, plan about the future. But worrying about the future, it's a problem because worrying doesn't bring solution. Worrying doesn't bring the end or solve all problems or actually strategize your future. So anytime you worry, it increases anxiety, and when it's persistent, it becomes a disorder and unable to handle. So next time we are going to look about the causes, the roots, and how to deal with it. Don't forget that I was sponsored by Media 9 Network, Vim FM. I am Terri Echampoma Boampong. Goodbye.